In 2006, Google developed an app that would forever change the way you and I view word processing. Well, it's been almost 20 years, and so you and I are using Google Docs specifically in ways that we never imagined. But the question today is, are you truly maximizing some of the features of Google Docs? We're going to be talking about three particular ways in which you can increase your time management using Google Docs. Hi, my name is Darrin Woods, and welcome to Darrin Teaches Tech, where we make technology easy to understand and easy to use. Let's talk about three things on today. The first of which has to do with the find and replace feature. The second has to do with the comment and assign feature. And then lastly, we're going to address version history. What are some use cases for these features? Well, first of all, Google Documents is a collaborative means through which you and others can create and edit various documents. And so we want to make sure that you're using these features and maximizing your management because you can actually waste a lot of time without using these features. Let's talk specifically about the find and replace feature. The find and replace feature. Now, why might you want to use this? Well, one of the ways to use this or use cases is to um, locate a word or phrase and just to see how frequently that it's been mentioned in a document, or even replace the frequency of words or actually misspelling of words. So there are two approaches to doing this. I'm going to go with the old school of the menu options. You may be someone who enjoys using the keyboard commands, but I'm going to walk through the more traditional approach by going through the menu options. All right. So in this particular case, I want to find the word hero. I want to find the word hero that's typed within the document. So I'm going to go over here to um, view. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm going to go to edit, and then I'm going to choose find and replace. And when you do that, there's a menu option or window which appears, and you can resize it if you want. And in the very first row, it's you see the word find and then replace with. We're going to use the find feature first. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and type in the word hero, and I'm going to then point out a couple things for you. So if you notice, after typing the word hero, there are two numbers, one to the left and one to the right of the word of. So the number to the far right of the word of represents the number of times in which the word hero appears in a document. So it appears 8 different times. The number to the left of represents the frequency number that the document is currently highlighting for you. So if you notice, there are a number of different highlights that appear, each covering the word hero, and then there are others further on in the document. It's very subtle, but you might notice that the first occurrence of the word hero is a little bit darker in green as opposed to the other references there. And so that has to do with the fact that you actually landed on that first occurrence of the 8. And so if you were to then click the word next, you see a couple of things happen. Second, one thing that happens is now that number that used to be 1, as in 1 of 8, now says 2 of 8, and that refers to you're now at the second example of the word hero which appears in the document, and you can continue going from previous to next, etc. All right, once you're done finding a particular word or phrase which occurs, you can actually click the X in the top right corner of the find and replace button, and then simply click off on a document and you're back to normal. All right, so that's an example of find. What's related to this option of find is also find and replace. So I'm going to use both of these together, if you will. Again, we're going to go over to edit, find and replace, and it remembers the last word that was typed, but in this case, I'm going to highlight that and I'm going to type the word banner. Now, in the second paragraph, I'm talking about comic book heroes. And if you know anything about me, you know that I believe that Batman is the greatest comic book superhero, whoever lived. You can agree, you can disagree, but that's just my thought. Well, here in these paragraphs, I have actually purposely, mistakenly typed that Batman's identity, secret identity, is Bruce Wayne. I'm sorry, it's Bruce Banner. In actuality, it's Bruce Wayne. So I want to find and replace all the occurrences of the word Banner and replace it with the word Wayne. So again, looking back up to look at the find and replace box you have there, that the word Banner is mentioned 3 times in the document, and it has taken me to the very first occurrence of those 3. Now, what I want to do is I want to replace the word banner and everywhere that word banner appears. So now I'm gonna click inside of the box and type the word Wayne, and I want you to see what happens here in this particular case of the word banner. I'm gonna click the word replace, and you notice it changed from banner to Wayne. But that only did it for the very first occurrence. In fact, if you notice up here, you'll see that it says 1 of 2. So there are now 2 instances of the word banner mentioned. So I want to replace the word banner with Wayne for every time it occurs in a document. So rather than clicking the word replace or the option of replace, I'm going to select the option of replace all. And notice what happens to the banner that's typed here and the banner that's typed here. I'm going to go ahead and click the replace all, and you'll notice that banner has become Wayne here, and banner has become Wayne here. So this is a case where using the find and replace option may actually be a benefit for you. Now you may say, well, I don't need to use those options because the document I have is a very relatively short option and I can go in and make the changes manually. Well, let's just say you have changed the name of a company, or a company that you represent has changed their name, or as in the case that I used earlier, I have the word Bruce Banner, the words Bruce Banner typed rather than Bruce Wayne. This is a way, in terms of the find and then also find and replace feature, to determine the number of times you use the word or phrase and the ability to change it. I've also found this very helpful as a literature teacher when talking to students, to help them understand it's important to have a variety of sentence structures and patterns. And so perhaps they may use the phrase interesting 4 or 5 different times. Well, using a find and replace feature is a way to determine not only the number of times in which that word interesting occurs, but also an opportunity to have a more robust vocabulary in the document. All right, so we looked at the first feature with regard to find and replace. The second one I want to talk about, which I find is even more valuable for me in terms of saving my time working in Google Documents, has to do with the comment and assign feature. The comment and assign feature. Using this feature will help in your processing of drafts, of shared collaborative documents, because you may want to have another pair of eyes read it, or you may make some revisions that are after the last time you and others have viewed the document. And if you think about the old school way of Microsoft Word, where you created a Google document and then you emailed that to someone, they proofread it, and then they uploaded it and then emailed it to you, and then you had to download it. You may have 4 or 5 different versions of that same Microsoft Word document there, and the comments are completely lost. So we're going to be talking about the ways in which you can ensure that the comments and assigning of tasks within this Google Documents helps prepare you for that third phase we're going to talk about, which has to do with comment inversions. All right, so what I want to do here is I want to actually assign someone to take a look at a phrase that I have created. So the one way to do this is to go to the menu option of View, and then you can select Comments, and it will show you the keyboard commands, right? I like to go a little bit a different route, and that is, and I love the fact that Google Doc does this, I'm just going to select highlight, if you will, this phrase here rather in church administration or teaching. And if I release it, notice to the right of the document are a couple different options available. That first one is the plus sign. It kind of looks like a comment or dialogue box. That's what you want to click. It contains, first of all, your email address, and then there's a box here for you to complete information. So I'm going to simply um, type in the letter or the symbol of at, and the at is basically a way of Google Docs allowing you to introduce the email address or to whomever you want to comment or view this particular portion of the document here. So it automatically includes that. And I just click on here to verify that that's the email address I want to go to. Now I can click the word comment here, and what will happen is the person with the email address will receive a notification in their email stating that I want them to take a look at, comment this particular phrase. The other part of the comment and assign feature, which I enjoy, is this box right here. It just says assign to Darrin Teachers Tech. I'm going to click that box. What this box does is not only does it inform the individual that they have access to a portion of the document that you want them to give you feedback about, it also assigns them that particular task. So maybe the assignment is, please review and correct this portion of the document. So by clicking that assign button, it also gives that extra layer of notification to the individual, and then click the option here, which is assign. And you will see that this particular comment assignment combination is already in place, and whoever receives that in their email will get a notification, will be able to open the email, actually see part of the message depending upon how it's configured in their email, and go to that document assuming that they have access to that particular document. All right. So again, the use case with regard to the comment and assign feature is very, very helpful if you want to basically scaffold responsibilities in the revision process or commenting or assigning different tasks. This is also something that I use with regard to when I take minutes for different board meetings where a number of different things are discussed, a number of different action items are discussed, but you don't necessarily want everyone to try to remember everything they're specifically assigned to do. What I do in those situations is after typing the particular task, I create that comment and assign highlighting, and the particular task of the individual or individuals is sent to them to their email rather than the proverbial, please make sure you look over, read or review your agenda to remember what things you're supposed to do. So that helps with regard to management as well, time management with regard to Google Docs feature. The third thing I want to talk about today has to do with the version history. And this is, as I alluded to earlier, something that is extremely important. And I'll talk about a couple use cases here. One of which has to do with perhaps you actually want to go back to a completely different version of the draft document that you've created. All right. Rather than starting from scratch or trying to remember what in the world you typed and what things you did, the version history option is absolutely gold. I'm actually going to leave this comment here that we talked about in terms of the comments and assigning feature for a number of different reasons with regard to what we're going to be talking about in this segment. So to access the version history, simply go to File, and then the option here is version history, and you have a couple options here. The name current document, basically it means the document you're currently on, or to see the versions of all, or to see all of the versions of the same documents since its inception. That's the one I'm going to suggest you look at. I'm going to click right now, and I'm going to point you to a couple things here. If you notice on the right hand side, one of the things I love about this feature is not only does it show you each occurrence of when a change was made in a document, it also has it broken down by the date as well as the time. So you'll notice the history even in doing this demonstration, which happens to be on February the 4th. The most recent changes occurred at 8:32, but then you had changes that occurred yesterday, 3:28, the day before that, etc. And for those that have a black arrow to the left of the date, if you click that, it's a drop down and basically opens up all the different changes that were made on that day. So you can go and even more specific in terms of the time. Changes made at 8:31 today, changes made at 8:08 today, etc. So this is absolutely fantastic. So rather than starting from scratch, you can always go back and see what did I have in an earlier version that I want to continue or carry over in this one, because I've deleted it on a Google Doc. So let's just go to the February 2nd option here, and I want to go back to the February 2nd option at 3:35 p.m. By the way, there's a way to look at these changes, but that doesn't mean you're going to restore those changes. So don't feel as though when you click the button that something cannot be undone. So I'm going to go ahead and click the button here, and notice on the top left corner of the document you'll see the date as well as the time. And if I scroll down here, you can see the words Wayne, 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 Wayne. That represents that in this version of the document, I actually did a test run through and actually created the document. In this particular version, which was the February 2nd at 3:35 p.m., I changed the word banner to Wayne. You see the word banner is there and it's crossed off, and then the words Wayne are highlighted. That means that the words or the occurrences of the word banner were deleted and they were all replaced with the word Wayne. Again, this doesn't restore that version. You always have the option up here to click the button that says restore the version, and it will revert to this version as your current one. But you can always go back and change that particular option to revert to the one for whatever date you want. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just click off on that, and there you have it. All right. So again, we have these use cases that involve time management using Google Documents. You have, on the one hand, the ability to find and even replace a particular word or phrase based upon a number of times it occurs in a document. You also have the ability to use the comment as well as the assign feature in order to invite individuals to make some comments, but also assign particular tasks. And then finally, you have the version history, which enables you to see who's made what changes when, and you even have the ability to determine on what date and what time different parts of that document were revised. So I hope you enjoyed this particular episode of Darrin Teaches Tech. Looking forward to seeing you in future episodes. Take care.